Living
What's up, you
large.
guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Fightful.com Matt Riddle BROCAST. Look at that beautiful piece of hardware. The new Progress Atlas Champion.
Bruh, you got to weigh over 206 pounds to get this beast.
Do you really?
You do. When I weighed in about 210, came in, beat a dude by the name of Rampage, not Rampage Jackson.
Rampage Brown.
Rampage Brown. And beat him, ground and pounded him for the 3. It was a brutal contest.
This was a bit of a surprise appearance, although you did tell me you were getting your phone back, so I kind of knew that you were going to the UK. Let me ask you, which was the more emotional moment? You being reunited with your phone or winning that championship?
I would say winning the championship. The phone was definitely a good time, especially, not just the technology upgrade. I was using like a Nokia Luma, from 2011. So the upgrade back to the 2016 iPhone was staggering. But winning the championship a day after my birthday was pretty good. Felt pretty good.
We have plenty to talk about in that regard. So what did you do for your birthday? Were you flying?
I was in the air flying, I believe, American Airlines.
Damn, all your holidays spent traveling. How does that feel?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't really consider one day a holiday just because everybody else says it is, I can come home 2 days after my birthday and celebrate, or 2 days before my birthday to celebrate, or a month later and celebrate. I feel like whenever I have time and I can make time for myself, that's when I celebrate things,
So how did you celebrate your birthday? Or have you?
I really haven't yet because I've been so busy. I mean, I enjoy my life all the time, so I'm pretty good. But when I get back next week, I think I'm going to go out for some sushi, get some sushi, and that's about it. I just want to go out, get some all-you-can-eat sushi.
I tried sushi for the first time 2 weeks ago. I thought it was overrated garbage.
Overrated garbage. You must have fine taste.
I do.
I bet.
I thought it was overrated garbage.
It's you gotta like it, and it depends on where you go. Some joints aren't that good. Other joints are just oh man, so good.
To your point, I'm gonna say we were talking about janky fuck chords before the show. This was a janky fuck chord of a sushi restaurant. So
I'll tell you this: I got sushi in a strip club in Las Vegas.
Oh no!
And it was really good.
Really?
Well, it was Crazy Horse 3. It was after one of my fights, and it was top notch. They must have some Japanese chef in the back doing it right.
I've never eaten at the strip club. I always hear about these people that eat lunch at the club.
You gotta realize the Vegas strip clubs are different than your Kentucky strip club.
Oh, shit, I would imagine.
Just it is what it is.
That's a fair point. Fair point there. So how far ahead do you find out that you're winning something like the Progress Atlas Championship?
I usually find out when I get there and I take it. Oh no. Yeah, I usually everything usually goes day of.
Yeah.
Even the other guy didn't even know he was losing it till that day. But that's just how it goes. And the next time I go there, they're like, well, this is happening. I'll be like, all right. I can always say no, I don't agree to that. And he could have said no.
That's true.
He's a big dude. He was a big dude.
Is this your first championship? Did you win one? I think you won one at the Monster Factory.
I won one at the Monster Factory. I won the tag titles at Keystone Pro Wrestling in Pennsylvania. So I've won a couple. I've won a couple belts, Nice. But this is probably the most prestigious title.
Is that you shitting on Monster Factory? How dare you?
No, not at all. It's just that the Monster Factory works in one location in one state, and
I'm gonna get Danny Cage on here to shoot on you.
Not at all. It's a great place and it's a great time.
Oh, we're losing you, Matt. Matt with those janky fuck chords over there. Yeah, needless to say, Matt's internet once again, is not the undisputed Progress Atlas champion.
Glad it was the first time.
You're popping in and out, Matt. Let me send him a text. This is a mess.
Well, I feel like I can hear you and see you. Wow, it's experiencing difficulties. Come on.
How about that? I'm not getting that message. Over here rolling on my 50 Mbps.
This is garbage. I need an upgrade. How about now?
I got you for now.
Yeah, well, let's see. We'll play it by ear. It'll probably be fine.
It'll probably be fine. When is your next appearance for Progress, or do you know?
I think it's not until maybe February.
That's not bad. Next month. You show up,
and
maybe
then,
you win the title.
And then I think, and then in March, I think I'm there again in March. And then they're coming to WrestleMania weekend. So I might just be there. You know?
You're going to have a fun WrestleMania weekend, I would imagine. I know you're going to have a fun Royal Rumble weekend. I'll be there for one of your matches. I'll be sitting in the second row all by myself. I'll probably...
Which match? Which match are you going to be there for? Do you know?
January 28th, the one before NXT.
I don't know. I figured you would know.
I haven't looked at a card.
Well, I think I'm wrestling ACH this weekend.
Yes.
And Dustin in a hardcore match.
Nice. I think
no DQ.
I think Keith Lee versus Chris Hero is on that show I'm going to.
You're gonna be happy with that. You won't be disappointed. They go soft in the pocket.
I'm very excited to go to my first Evolve show. Like we've stepped up our coverage of Evolve because of people like you and Jason Kincaid who do some work for us at Fightful. So I'm very, very, very excited for that. Like I'm stoked.
You're in for a real treat. You know.
Let's see if I can find this card. They probably haven't announced it.
Oh yeah, they have.
Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I was like, you know what? If we've got Matt Riddle and Jason Kincaid on the site, we should probably be covering more of these live.
It's true. You should be.
Timothy Thatcher and Jeff Cobb?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it says Chris Hero versus Zack Sabre for Evolve 77. Okay, I'll take that.
That's not bad.
Fred Yehi, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Against ACH. Hot damn.
That should be good.
Hot Sauce and Laredo Kid, and then Matt Riddle versus Dustin in an ODQ match. Now, you understand now, this is a tough one for me. I don't know Chuck Taylor personally, but he is a Kentucky gentleman.
He is a Kentucky gentleman. He was actually my roommate when we tried out for the WWE.
How did he do in that?
He did great. You know, he knows how to wrestle. He's athletic, you know, and he can move. So yeah, you know, he's good.
The night before that, you versus ACH, Zack Sabre, Ethan Page, Chris Hero, TBA. I assume that's the Keith Lee match. Then Hot Sauce and Yehi against Thatcher and Cobb. Man, they're bringing the pain, San Antonio, aren't they? Jesus.
They're going for it. They're going for it.
Ooh, Peter Casa against some guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Okay. Peter Casa's legit.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He may be up there with you as like most athletic and Evolve, Matt.
Well, yeah. Well, he's more. I feel like he's more Dragon Gate, isn't he?
Well, I mean, but he's in the
in the picture. He's in the picture.
I mean, let's be real. You talk about
is Darby Allin?
Does them?
Is Darby Allin on the card?
I don't know. Let me see. This is from like 10 days ago. The card that I'm seeing. So
well, they might not post every single match on the card. I was just checking in. I can always
just checking for no reason in particular, right?
Right. I'm just checking on the list of matches.
But yeah, I don't get to go to a lot of stuff like Evolve, so I'm very, very, very excited. Even though I'll be there by myself, I'm probably bringing my camera so I can get some pictures for the damn website. That way we don't use the same 3 pictures of you all the time.
Yeah,
and
old
UFC stuff.
Yeah, well, it's easy. I need to get more promo pics, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of action shots these days. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Fortunately for the site, some wonderful gentleman uploaded some high quality photos of you to Wikipedia. And if they're on Wikipedia and Wikimedia Commons, they're out there for use. They're allowed to be reused. And they are awesome shots. So I'm about to get some more.
Oh, hey.
Some more.
Whoa.
AJ Styles got robbed during a live event on Monday.
Really?
Well, people say he was robbed. It sounds like
somebody held him up at like gunpoint.
Yeah. That's why people need to adjust this. Fix your fucking headlines, guys. From one journalist to another. If he was performing and his shit was stolen, he was burgled. Apparently, $1,000 in cash, 7,000 Japanese yen, which is about $61 American. His iPhone, a set of Beats headphones, a small screen TV, an Xbox 360, and 6 Xbox games, Matt.
Where did he have this to be
Probably
stolen?
backstage. Probably backstage at the event.
That is quite a collection of items.
Right?
I mean, it sounds legit. I mean, it sounds like AJ Styles would have all that stuff. But
well, he does. He loves to travel. He loves to have his video games when he travels.
You know, he's been to Japan, so he's probably got some Japanese money. You know, it all makes sense.
Of course. I mean, I have some Canadian dollars downstairs, and I've never been to Canada.
But who would at a backstage event, like who has access to the backstage and would be able to steal all that?
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Kenny Omega, there are rumors like, will he go to WWE? Will he won't? I don't think he's going to. Do you think he'd be a good fit there for what they do?
I think Kenny Omega could be a good fit anywhere. I think anybody could technically be a good fit anywhere the way they use him. Right. But Kenny Omega, well, if they really let him wrestle and do his thing, yeah. You know, like if they let anybody, like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, any of those guys to go out there and do their thing and put it all on the line, like they'll be worth it. But like it's just a matter of timing. Like if they brought Kenny Omega in, yeah, he'd definitely be a huge star. He'd be super over. But I don't know. You know, it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, especially at his age of the game, like they want to go to WWE just to see if they can get that WrestleMania moment. You know?
Sure.
So I feel like he had like that, you know, Wrestle Kingdom. Like that was a big moment with Okada, like huge. So maybe he's going for that moment, you know, at WrestleMania now. But at the same time, he might just be happy with like maybe he goes back and wins it in the main event next year, you know?
Speaking of, this isn't me implying that you need to go to WWE or anything. What has been your dream WrestleMania moment if you were to have one?
Just you know, retiring Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
It seems like the consensus around, like before the Goldberg thing, I got that a lot from people. Like Matt Riddle should be the guy to beat Goldberg. He's legit. He has credibility. He's the size of wrestler that WWE wouldn't be like, well, he's too small. A lot of things going for you in that regard. I think that'd be a hell of a match. Have you ever spoken to Brock Lesnar personally?
I haven't. I've been on the same card as him a couple of times, or maybe once. Not sure. But I've been to a couple of his fights live, you know, but we've never – he kind of – like certain people are like, you can tell are like super VIP, and they kind of like are off to the side, you know. Sure. Most of the fighters are in like a group, you know, separated but in a group. And then like there's some like, you know, probably like your Brock Lesnar's, your Ronda Rousey's, your Conor McGregor's, you know, like the superstars.
We got some. Oh well, this seems like interesting news. It seems like Anthem, the company that owns TNA now, they're dropping the TNA initials. They'll just be called Impact Wrestling. What do you think about that change? It's one that a lot of people have pushed for before.
I don't think a name's going to change anything.
Sure. I don't think so either. But, I mean, do you think it's at least
maybe
a step in the right direction?
No, I don't think a name change. Like if they're gonna change it, they should change it completely.
I mean, it's not
Completely.
TNA anymore.
Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be TNA Impact, Impact Wrestling. It should just be. I guess Impact Wrestling's not horrible.
Yeah, it
It's
could
not
be
horrible.
worse.
IW. You know,
Well, I think they would
Impact
just call it
Wrestling.
Impact, like kind of like Progress or Evolve or
Yeah, this is Impact. I don't know.
yeah, they could do that. Hey,
Impact. Impact. All right.
see, you're on it
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
chants.
Okay. So yeah, they're in the right direction.
They used to get those TNA chants
Well,
all the
now
time.
they just get to delete, delete, delete.
Yeah, that's true.
So which is good. Which is good.
Hey, it's better than nothing. It's better than
Correct.
crickets. Have you ever been in front of a crowd that's just crickets and you're like, you sons of bitches, will you wake up?
Yeah, but I don't know. In my head, I feel like I'm always hearing noise. They're like, yeah.
Well,
Most of the time they are. But,
yeah.
but like, I don't know. I just feel like everything's more intense when you're in there. So it's just like, oh, did you see that? So like, I don't know. At least I hype myself up like that, I guess.
Indie shows are usually pretty good about that. But like, what if you were in WWE and you're out there and man, you know how some of those crowds are, dude. They show up there and they don't want to have fun, which is weird to me. Why you would go and pay your money to go to a wrestling show and just be like, woo.
Well, I think those wrestling shows are looking for something different and they're not getting it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Or maybe they're looking for crazy moves. Maybe they're looking for death matches or something that like it all depends on what crowd you work for and how smart the crowd is. And not even how smart, but it's like what the crowd's into. Every crowd's different. Honestly, I feel like as long as you have a wide variety of moves and personality, it's pretty and facial expressions and like if you have enough going on, you should be able to get some kind of reaction out of any crowd.
I'm liking that almost all crowds are getting a little smarter about like grappling because we're seeing a lot more realistic grappling with guys like you and Timothy Thatcher and stuff like that, like coming and they're starting to learn, like just like MMA crowds did.
It's nice, and it's because I tip my hat to a guy like Tim Thatcher, even a Jeff Cobb. Even guys like Fred Yehi, he might do some crazy stomps there and there, and like foot punches and stuff. But at the same time, he does have an amateur background, and like Gresham, David Starr, the list goes on. Even Cody Rhodes has an amateur background.
We have an interview with David Starr coming on the site next week.
Oh, hey, guys. Good man. I think I actually might be challenging him for the shotgun title, and he might be challenging me for my Atlas title.
Ooh.
Double title. And by then, I'm probably going to be the Rev Pro champion. As I say, the Rev Bro champion after I beat
Oh, no.
Well
Played.
I'm wrestling Shibata tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow? It's like I think it's like tomorrow in England.
Here's a quote that Matt gave to our own Pat Fannin about you. He said, Matt is awesome. He's great. He's always had a charisma about him. You knew being around him, he was going to be something. Before he got into wrestling, he achieved notoriety. So there was no way to take that away from him. Now he works his ass off to become a great professional wrestler, and that's what he's doing. He's only getting better. I wrestled Matt pretty early on. He was just really starting to put himself together as who he wants to be and what he wants to do and how he wanted to carry himself as a pro wrestler. Since that match, he's gotten even better. I've gotten even better. We've both had our name value increase significantly. We both have prestigious European titles in two companies that are currently working together. I think it would be an awesome matchup to have right now to have the Progress Atlas champion against the WXW Shotgun champion. Listen to the respect he gives you there. The respect.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. They say sports entertainment. I call it sport wrestling,
Yeah.
There's gentleman rules, but you still go hard.
I mean, I have a soft spot for people who cross over. I mean, I make my career covering the crossover of MMA and pro wrestling, so I like seeing people that come in with an amateur background. I love that. And I love because there are certain things that they know how to put together in matches that people who don't have an amateur background don't necessarily, it's hard for them to grasp maybe. It's just different.
It's different. I think it's more of like that raw emotion or raw like movement in the ring. Like, like spots are cool, spins, rolls, dives, whatever. But then like when somebody hits like a hard drop step, takes your back and suplexes you on your head, or like just like drags your arm and then like kicks you in the face, really quick. It's a little different, than a flip and an elbow drop.
It's not just that you grasp the in-ring stuff so quick. Like I'm a big fan of like wrestling psychology and learning more and more and more and more and more and more about it. And like I watch your matches and like almost everything makes sense. Like there's not a lot that I watch in a Matt Riddle match and I'm like, well, why would he do that? Why would somebody do that? Why would he wait for him to do this? Like I don't see a lot of that in your match, and you're not even 2 years in. Like,
yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is, and even when like I teach, like even when I give pointers in professional wrestling, which I rarely do, but if somebody ever asks, I'd be like, well, what are you trying to do? You're trying to win. I know you're still doing your thing, but you're trying to win. So like at any point of the match, like you should never really let your guard down if you're that close,
Yeah.
Like even if your hands are down, you should be coming in aggressive or backing up like fierce, like it should make sense in that thing. And then like if you're hurting somebody, it's all right to taunt, but like you shouldn't just be like clapping, you should be like revving something up, or like, I don't know, some people do. Everybody has their own way of doing something. I have my way of doing it. I just like the way I do it, and I feel like in my world it like makes sense. Like because if I was in a street fight and I did the things I did and he was laying there selling, I might do what I do in the ring,
Yeah.
Granted, my reaction time would be a little quicker, but but that seriously, so
what frustrates me? The biggest thing I hate.
When
people lay flat on their back in the ring and don't expect somebody to pin them. That's the point of the fucking match, is to pin somebody's shoulders to the mat. And they'll lay flat. That's a spot that I've never understood. The tackle drop down, and I've been guilty of doing it too, but you got a guy on his back and you're running away from him. I think Sean Waltman brought that up yesterday on Twitter. He's like, you've got the guy where you're supposed to get him in the first place on his back with his shoulders to the mat, and then you run away from him.
Yes.
There are a lot of little things, man. Like a lot of really little things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. I'll be honest, like it depends on what you're a fan of, but like that stuff like looks pretty, like when somebody like grabs a headlock, they do some crazy wrist locks back into a headlock takeover, up, shoot them off, shoulder tackle, drop down, leapfrog, hip toss. Fact, like,
yeah.
And all they really did was run around the ring and do the, hey, it takes talent. I've done it, I'm just like, me personally, I wouldn't mind. I like doing it both. But I don't see the point of like running as much as they do when you really don't have to.
One of the best things I got to do, I got to train with Billy Robinson before his passing. He trained like Sakuraba and Josh Barnett and Shayna Baszler. And he would teach us work stuff and shoot stuff. And he had us put him in a headlock. And he was like, well, people do all this fancy stuff. He just reached in the headlock, grabbed the wrist, and put me in a hammer lock immediately. And I was like, yeah, that works a lot better. That makes a lot more sense than dragging somebody off the ropes. And you're supposed to break their hands before you push them off the ropes. There's a lot of simplification. And the thing I like is that it's starting to come. You're starting to see it. And that's what I like when I see you, Cobb, Thatcher, people like that. Simple can be a simple spot like that you don't see all the time can get a big reaction. And that's what I'm really liking about some of the crowds today, is that they're starting to understand that you don't have to be elaborate to be clever and I think it's a good progression.
I agree.
We got some crazy news, Matt. People won't let me not do these anymore.
Crazy news. What's going on? Tell me.
A goat walked into an Oregon 7-Eleven and helped herself to sour Skittles
Ooh, that's
Would that be your choice? Now, as I
I
look
like
up,
sour Skittles.
they're good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Sometimes if you eat like the king size bag, though, it'll make your tongue raw. And
Dude, the amount of times my tongue has been raw from Sour Patch Kids,
yep,
sour Skittles, I have a problem.
I thought like maybe I was. I thought
Nah,
like, what do I
you,
have? Just a sensitive tongue? No, I'm glad to hear it
that,
happens to other
that
people.
happens to me all the time when I actually take breaks because I'll be like
Yeah.
my mouth hurts. I'm just eating too much sour candy. It's
You
probably
can make
bad.
it through
I'm probably gonna die. That doesn't sound good.
You can make it through a WWE tryout, no problem. Got to take a break on the Sour Patch, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When I was at the trial, I think I was like eating like sharp cheese and like Sour Patch Kids and stuff like that and Cheez-Its. I have a good diet. I drink V8 too.
Yeah. Like
So.
you were doing it at the tryout or like that weekend or
Well,
that
that's
week?
like because I instead of like going out to eat while I was down there, I bought groceries.
Yeah.
I bought some groceries, and then like the one day I got like Baja Fresh for lunch, and then came back to the training center. Ate a couple burritos, but
There was a bodybuilder at the gym that I helped manage, and he'd keep one of those giant bags of Skittles with the like Ziploc on the top, and he would grab a handful and he'd eat it before he lifted. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "I guess spiking his blood sugar to help his pump or something like that." And I was like, "What?" Which I mean, I was in no position to question him. He was 275 pounds of like solid muscle,
yeah.
but I was like, "That's interesting." But I mean,
Hey,
this goat had to get its sour Skittle fix, man.
that's pretty legit. That's a really cool story. That's a Skittles commercial. If it doesn't already exist, it's going to. They get unique with their Skittle commercials. Taste
They
the
do.
rainbow.
Would that have been your first choice, sour Skittles?
That would have been like unless they had. I'm a sour candy guy. Unless they had Sour Patch Kids Extreme.
Ooh, I've never tried those.
Oh, bro. If you never tried those Sour Patch Kids Extreme, you haven't lived. Your
I gotta
tongue will
try them.
literally fall off your body. It will be bleeding because you'll eat so many. It
Dude,
tastes so good.
my wife eats these like filled Twizzlers, and they're horrible. They smell like Play-Doh.
Dude, people are weird. People will eat that. I personally hate licorice, and then I've seen that Twizzler filled candy stuff, and I'm like, it's disgusting. I've even seen the sweet. They have a sweet tart one. That's like it's the same thing,
like a rope.
Yeah, it's like rope, and it's filled with like a gooier candy, but like the outside's like rubber, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like that's gross. Like Then again, I'm eating sour candy until my tongue hurts. So
even like some of the cheapest, like crap level sour candy can be good. Like at this gas station up the road, they just have these little tiny pages of like ridged sour candy. And I'm like, I don't care. Give it to me. I'll take the cancer that comes with it.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I went to China. One thing I couldn't find in China, I literally had a translator. I was like, sour candy. Went into a candy shop. This is like their sour candy, not sour at all. And I was like, that's weird. That's weird. I've had Japanese candy that's been really sour before.
Oh, I would imagine so.
Yeah, Chinese candy, not so much.
Unusual.
Very.
Virtual reality smell porn is on the way.
I will pass on gas, I guess, in that case.
Guess what it's going to be called?
Smell porn?
Yeah. Guess what it'll be called?
I don't know. I figured that's what it'd be called.
And it's called Roma. Like aroma?
Yeah, I get it. Aroma.
Great one, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I play a lot of virtual reality video games and stuff like that. But like, I'm more like the virtual reality, looking around, audio, and then like maybe even like a vest where you can feel like if you get shot or like just running and stuff like that.
I think that's the future. I do.
You can buy all that stuff. They have rumble packs for your body that are like.
Oh, sure. But I mean, like virtual reality, it's just something more active. Because the thing is, like a lot of times, like you mentioned, Matt, you said there are a lot of games you're like, I don't want to play that because I can just go do it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I
You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
most games, like most people can't do the things you do in games.
Sure. You can't GTA. I mean,
Like
I'm not gonna go out and
I can't be the God of War in real life.
that's
Like
true.
I can, I can't be Kratos.
But like, how many times have you played EA UFC 2?
I don't because I can do that in real life.
Exactly. You have done it in real life.
But like I know my cousin who loves fighting but can't fight or doesn't fight. I
Yeah.
don't want to say he can't fight, but doesn't fight. He plays that game all the time.
Well, I mean, doesn't fight on the UFC level. What has he got? PS4 or Xbox?
I think he's got the PS4. PS4
Oh, you
exclusive.
got to have him add me. I'm gonna job him out on that game. Luke Rockhold is an absolute cheat code on that game.
Not in real life.
No, not in real life. Edson Barboza also a cheat code on that game. Like you just crack him with leg kicks all day, set him up.
Is that what
Done.
you're doing? That's what you're doing?
Yep.
You know what I've been doing? I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2.
I've never watched Dragon Ball Z, never played a game, but
Oh,
everybody, a lot of my friends seem to like it.
I just watched the whole new series they just came out with called Dragon Ball Super. Super. It was good.
A lot of people within MMA love Dragon Ball Z. Why is
A lot of people in pro wrestling and MMA love Dragon Ball Z. I think it is if you ever watch it, like if you watch one of the sagas, like they're broken up in sagas, like who they're fighting, and then that'll be a certain amount of episodes, whatever. But they get characters in it. They're all like warriors, and they're different races of like different species, but like a lot of them look human. But like they're really proud, and they're like a warrior race. So like they fight with honor. So I feel like that's why a lot of wrestlers and fighters are like like you fight with honor to the death.
Yeah.
Show that warrior spirit, and like a lot of the guys, the harder you beat them, the stronger they get. So it's like that pro wrestling mentality. Like you hit me, I fire up. I hit you. So
I've been watching a lot more of your matches lately, Matt. I see a lot of that.
yeah, that's where that's where it comes from. The DBZ influence right there. That warrior spirit.
Ooh, we just got an announcement that Chris Weidman versus Gegard Musashi slated for UFC 210. That's a good fight.
That is a good fight. Is there any interim titles or anything for that? Because that's
No,
what
but
UFC,
Tony Ferguson
UFC likes to do that.
Tony Ferguson and Khabib fighting for an interim title.
Oh, hey, Khabib, pure MMA veteran right there. He fought on my card that I had years ago.
He is, man, I love watching him.
Dude, he's vicious. He does what he's got to do to win.
I did this MMA fantasy game one time where you get points for every takedown, punch, strike, all that stuff that landed. And it was when he fought Abel Trujillo, and he took the son of a bitch down 21 times. So I racked up the points that night. Did you see BJ Penn get mollywopped on Sunday?
Really, that happened? I thought he was going to win.
Did you really?
No, you were here last Thursday when we talked about it. It was a bad move, BJ.
Oh yeah,
and the thing is, I've never talked to BJ personally, but I've seen him on TV. I've seen him interact with people. He's probably a nice enough guy. Like I don't know why he stepped back in the cage, and it's the same reason why. Like I don't know why Chuck Liddell stepped back in the cage against Rich Franklin, and it's the same. I just don't know what these people are thinking. I really don't.
I would watch BJ Penn fight Clay Guida, Dennis Seaver, Cole Miller. That's about it. That's about it. Those guys that are weathered veterans.
No, not even, dude. Clay Guida can still go pretty hard. Like he trains really hard.
Oh, I know he's a freak of nature.
BJ is definitely a better fighter, but Guida's just a beast.
Guida's like 3-7 in his last 10, though.
Is he?
Yeah. He's won 3 fights in like 6 years.
Damn.
He beat Hatsuhioki, Kawajiri, and Robbie Peralta. Everybody else, he's losing to all these top guys. Like Brian Ortega is on the come up. Dennis Bermudez was pretty hot at that point. Mendez, Gray Maynard, Ben Henderson.
He fights good people.
Oh, of course. Because, I mean, he made his name fighting good people. I mean, he beat Showtime Pettis and Dos Anjos and Nate Diaz. He's he was one of those guys that you always looked forward to watching him fight. Not so much these days, but I would watch Guida fight BJ Penn. I would probably watch Chuck Liddell crush some can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we all would, but at 205 pounds, a can with a professional MMA record can still knock you clean unconscious. So
it's true.
Like, and it's not like Chuck Liddell's he's not like an Andre Arlovsky where like he technically could just like pick you clean apart. Granted, I think his chin is better than Andre Arlovsky's. But at the same time, Chuck Liddell's striking style is very brawler. It's like, yeah, he throws a lot of power. He's got technique, but he's also like he leaves it out there.
He does.
He does.
I never followed up on this question. How much do you think some of these poor scrubs are going to pay for virtual reality smell porn? I mean, there are dudes out there who buy girls' panties on the internet. So
yeah, there is. I would say like $1,500. They got to think reasonable.
Really?
Yeah. Is it less?
Man. I don't know. I'm just gauging the market. Guess.
If it's brand new technology,
that's true.
I would say $1,500, and that's.
I mean, people were spending $5,000 on Tickle Me Elmo dolls.
And I'll tell you this, and you probably need the hardware that you can plug it into to use it on a computer or whatever. So that would have to probably be the latest technology that's out because this is brand new.
The same guy in our chat every week asks me to cut a promo on your behalf. What do you want me to cut a promo on?
What kind of promo, bro?
I don't get it.
What do you want him to say?
I could cut a promo for Matt. Cutting a promo for Matt Riddle is not hard. Like, I don't have a lot to go on. I got.
What do you mean cut a promo for Matt Riddle?
Yeah, like what am I?
Like, are you challenging me? Am I challenging you? Are we challenging other podcasts to a fight?
Yeah. Like, he says on your opponent. What opponent? He's got a lot of opponents.
Oh, you mean Shibata? I already cut a promo on Shibata.
Yeah, you
already cut. So, bro, right here, you see this belt? I'm about to grab the Rev Pro belt too and add it to my fucking collection, bro. That's my promo right there. I'm the fucking man. Look at my MMA record and look at your MMA record, Shibata. So I'm gonna fucking whoop your ass.
Let's look at his MMA
right?
record.
That's it. That's a promo. All smiles. All smiles, bro.
Let's look at
I got my camera here, but my screen's right there. So I look there, you get it.
I put my camera right here, my screen right here, because I used to put it over here, and I would look sideways like this, and people would be like, "What are you looking at?"
Yeah, I
know. Damn, he's 4-11-1.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He fought Sexy Arma. He fought a couple tough guys, I guess.
He fought Satoshi Ishii. Ishii was supposed to be something good back in the day. He fought Mayhem Miller, Sakuraba, Halleck Gracie, Akiyama, Sakurai. He beat Minowa. That's not a bad win right there. It may have been a work fight, but
might have been stop it probably. But stop it.
Minowa's fought like 120 times. So yeah. You ever had anybody offer to work a fight, Matt?
No.
Because Chael Sonnen will always say that sometimes back in the day, Shannon Rich would pop up in the room and says, "Who wants the night off?" Like one of those.
And what does that mean? Like, I'll take a dime and get an extra $500 from Shannon Rich?
Bob Sapp had pretty much admitted to doing it. But I mean, the thing is, people were like, well, how dare Bob Sapp do that? And he appeared, and like Ariel Helwani was grilling him about it, as Ariel Helwani should have been grilling him about it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you want to take that kind of edge out of it, you probably shouldn't compete.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Bob Sapp is he was a big name still overseas, and he was 10-4, and then all of a sudden he lost like 10 straight fights, and he went on Ariel Helwani's show and he said, "You know what? I am retired comfortably right now because of that." And the thing is, he was doing it in places that didn't have athletic commissions. So he could not be punished for throwing fights. So he shows up there. He would work for a minute, and that's it. He gets his 10 grand or whatever. There are far worse ways to make 10 grand. Do you remember Sean Salmon, the guy that Rashad Evans head kicked?
And almost killed?
Yeah.
And seizured on the ground?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's been throwing fights. He was
throwing fights. No, he's been losing fights, hence the seizure, bro.
Well, here's the thing, man. He was 18-9. And since then, he's lost 10 straight fights. And now this was a guy who was considered, I think it was a black belt, losing via heel hook in 25 seconds.
That happens.
I know, but he's losing these fights in like 20, 30 seconds. Like, it's not like any effort put forth here. Like 25 seconds, 35 seconds, 1 minute, 57 seconds, 41 seconds.
I wouldn't say he's throwing the fights. He's probably just like not defending himself.
40 seconds, 25 seconds. These are consecutive, Matt.
10 fights under a minute.
10 fights, all under 3 minutes. Well, around 3 minutes. Most of them a minute and a half or under.
Well, I'll be honest. You never know. He might just be going in there balls to the wall, you know?
Some of these guys, Jeremy Horn, Tom DeBlas, they're kicking his ass no matter what.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys are jobbers without Wikipedia pages.
I think he's probably just not training. He's getting decent money, and he takes fights on short notice probably and just goes out there and gets beat. You know, and probably fights for a guarantee show. Like, do you want 4-4? And he's like, how about just 6? And they're like, okay, you know.
That could be the case.
That probably is the case.
What do you got going on this weekend? You facing Shibata?
This weekend, I am facing Shibata at Rev Pro for the British heavyweight title. Right here is the Progress Atlas heavyweight title. And that's Saturday. Then Sunday, I wrestle IPW UK. I'm supposed to wrestle Pete Dunne, but I heard there might be a conflict.
Really?
With me wrestling Pete Dunne. Not because it's Pete Dunne or me. It's more so
Flow Slam in WWE.
Correct. So because of that, I'm probably not going to
Sure. Yeah. Understandable. You know anything about Rev Pro and the WWE Network?
Have I heard anything?
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is my first time there.
Huh,
I mean, okay, I know Progress when I was there. They were, they worked and helped out with the WWE UK tournament, and a lot of their talent was in the tournament. Like Finn Balor was at Progress when I was there this past weekend, and in Tommy End or Aleister Black and Prince.
Well, they call him Tommy End on the show.
Tommy End and Prince Devitt were at Progress, and then Aleister Black and Finn Balor were at NXT. But what did you say they called him Tommy End at NXT?
Yeah, he wrestled Neville on the UK tournament show. Like they did a match between the semifinals and the finals to give him a little rest, and they called him Tommy End. Which, I mean, it was probably just for that one time thing, but yeah. You know what? Those UK crowds are doing it right. I love it.
The UK crowds are good, but I think you got to realize this. Like, one, wrestling's pretty big there. Two, in America, we have wrestling like everywhere. WWE travels the country here. Like, WWE is in like Allentown a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm. Like
literally like right down the street, like 15 minutes from me, and then they're in Philadelphia a couple times a year. They're at, Jersey a couple. They're very close to me all the time. Well, like in the UK, they're probably in the UK, what? Once a year, twice a year max. And they're touching your city once a year. So unless you travel a good distance, and like big pay-per-views or anything like that aren't usually over there. So,
the UK shows, the PWG shows, crowds like that, it motivates me. It makes me want to watch more wrestling. It makes me want to train in more wrestling. It makes me want to write about more wrestling. It just makes me like wrestling more.
Yeah.
Because you see that there are people that love it as much as they should. Anything to tell these bitches before we go?
Oh, you can't call our listeners bitches.
Call them
Come
bitches.
on, man. No. Just you should check out, Progress, Rev Pro, Evolve, all the promotions I wrestle at. You can find me probably at you can find me on the internet. Like unless you come to a live show somewhere, And lately, unless you're in Europe, you're really not going to see me too much unless you go to Evolve or PWG. So
well, I am watching several more of your matches. I'm trying to get in all of my recommended viewing for last year because there's some voting. Site named Voices of Wrestling is doing a match of the year voting, and I got to get my ballot in this weekend. So I got to watch some more Matt stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I got some good stuff. I don't know if you got access to all the matches.
I have access to a lot of stuff.
I don't know if I even have access because like when Flow Sports and WWN started doing their thing, I used to have a WWN account, but now I can't stream any of the WWN footage off WWN, and I feel like Flow Sports, unless you go to their one website, you can't access all of Evolve's library. It's pretty technical. They don't have it all on the Roku. I wish it was all just on the Roku like it was for, WWN and Evolve and stuff. So Flow Sports, I respect you guys, but you guys need to pick up that Roku game. Pick it up for Flow Slam.
Guys, follow us at Fightful Wrestle, at Fightful Online, at Fightful MMA, and of course at Sean Ross Sapp. Matt is at Riddle Tough 7 because he is still on the Ultimate Fighter 7. I guess.
The original. I was on the Ultimate Fighter when that shit was real, not when they were bringing Junie Browning back for another season. This shit's ridiculous.
Weren't you on his season? Or no, it was a season
after. Was I
I
on his season? You son of a bitch. No. I think he was after me. He was
the season after you, yeah.
He was a real piece of garbage, that guy. Good thing they're bringing him back. They're showing their true colors of bringing him back.
Guys.
Register
at Fightful.com. You'll get shows like this, the Shane Helm Show, Elias Theodorou, Sean Pearson.
The Sean Pearson Show.
Oh, he's an entertaining guy.
He is. He's a good man.
He is. He had this weird wiener cam last week. The camera was down by his crotch and pointing up, and we were like, what is this?
Oh, wow. He had the POV for your point of view of you were doing stuff to him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's how you doing down there?
Yeah,
I was actually looking at some of our interviews, or not interviews, but our podcast. And I would some of them are from me looking up like this, and others are like this, and others are from me looking down. And
my boss was like, "Why is Matt in a different zip code on this show? You were all the way across your house in one of them."
I move around. When we first started, I was in the basement. Then I went up to the second floor. Now I'm on the first floor. I move around.
I stick here in my office.
China.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a show from outdoors next year.
Oh, I might do. No, I probably won't.
Guys, we are out.